Welcome. I'm here with my 1997 Land Cruiser. In a previous video I hooked up the remote key fob, but when I lock the doors, it's not locking this door here, and I found that out one day when I went up and tried to open the door, and it set the alarm off because the alarm system expected this to be locked, and being able to open it, the system was triggered. So if I get in here, okay, so now I'm in the car and you'll see it's unlocked. If I press this, it's not locking. If I press it again, I don't know, let's try this. You can see it's barely moving there. So I know this is getting at least some electricity. I don't know if it's getting enough electricity. I'm guessing it probably is, but I'm gonna dismantle this because it may just need some lubrication, or it may need to replace the solenoid there. Okay, first I'm gonna start by taking some of these panels off and removing some of these screws. This is my first time doing this one, so maybe a little bit of an experiment. I'm using this large, I don't know, it's a number 3. Oh, it's a huge screwdriver. There's a screw that came out there. I should try and zoom in a little bit more. So that screw came out right here. Now I'm going to pry this up. I'm using these panel pliers. I have another video on this. I'll put a link in the description. I forget which way this opens. Yeah, that can open. You can pop this off from the front or the rear. Sometimes you see these, they'll like hinge from one way or another. Next I'm going to pry this off. This I think does hinge, so I'll be careful. I'll do it slowly. Okay, so this hinges on the back. You want to pop the front end off first. And then I'm going to press in the little tab so I can pull the switch out. So you see it hooks under this tab and clips down in the front. There's one more screw back here. Okay, I've got a number 2 screwdriver for that. And this screw is tiny. I mean, for a car. This piece has a little pivot on the one side, so you want to kind of pull it out this way. I think that's all the screws. So now I'm going to use my panel pliers to pop this off. Looks like the door panel was holding this off, so this just kind of popped off on its own. Okay, so now I can pull this door. Let me get this up a little bit. I just have to lift this up a little bit. It's kind of hung on the top. Okay, I'm going to lower this window and see if that makes it a little easier. And the front switch doesn't work without this plugged in, so I got to hook this back up. That seemed to do the trick. Okay, I need to unplug this light. I'll just press in on the connector and wiggle it out. Now the whole door panel is off. I've got a couple broken clips here. I had a video on that I made. I'll put some replacement clips on here. I actually don't like these yellow ones. They were really hard to get out. So I'll put some different ones in. I'm going to go ahead and put the window back up in case screwing around kills the battery. I don't want this left down. Okay, so I started it up to charge the battery up a little bit, but I'm going to peel this back to get in here. I'm going to use a utility knife to cut this. I'm cutting right in the middle of the adhesive. When I'm done, I should be able to stick this right back together. Okay, so when I move this back and forth now, I can see the mechanism in here. So I'm going to spray something in there. I'll probably go with spray lithium. The lithium wasn't really thin enough, so I'm going to use this QBA electronic cleaner to clean it off, and then I'm going to use this heavy-duty silicone to lubricate it. Okay, so I'm lubricating up here and here too. Okay, I have everything lubricated now, so now I'm going to test it. It seems to be moving a little better now. If that doesn't work, I'll probably have to get in there and tear apart the solenoid or replace it or something. So I'm going to button this back up and then try it with the key fob. That all just presses back on there now. It's pretty amazing that's 20 plus years old, that adhesive, and it's still soft. You can also lubricate these guides here for the windows with the silicone. So I'm going to replace the missing clips on the door panel. There's a piece of weather stripping here. You'll want this to go under that. Make sure you plug in the lower light too. So it seemed best to start here and slide this in and then clip that part in. Now I need to hook the light back up and I need to make sure the wires run for the electric window. Now I can clip everything back together. You just press them, make sure they're lined up first. Okay, I can replace the speaker grill, electric window, now I'm just going to replace the big screws here. Okay, the door's back together. I'll go shut it off and then we'll test it out. Okay, I've got my remote here. It's not quite working. So I think I'm going to probably need to tear it apart and replace the solenoid. So this was kind of a fail. But if yours are kind of sticky, you could try this, try cleaning it up and see if that helps. But I think we only got about halfway there. So if it's locked, it seems to unlock it, but doesn't quite seem to. Oh, it is locking it. Well, maybe it's not a fail. It's just that this is not going back all the way. So, here's what it is. It'd probably work better if I got a new solenoid. Okay, well, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you like this video, please click like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate it if you could do that. And thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.